Hey everyone. In this video, I'm trying to cover some of the documentation requirements that you require for this new tech gateway. So once you get a NOI, you will get an email something like this, right? And once you get this email, in this email, you will also get a link to create your Alberta profile. When you create your Alberta profile by clicking this link, you will be taken to a page something like this. In this page, the first important thing is the documentation requirement. You can click this link on your profile when you're creating this profile and it will take you to a documentation checklist page. So let's go through this documentation checklist so that I can help you with what is required. Let's go through all the documentation requirements in this checklist. So if you look, the first three are pretty obvious: your passports, your work permits, and your language assessments. So whatever language assessment you have, you just upload a copy of that. Not seen any specific requirements related to this passport, work permit, or language assessment. The only thing is that in your final checklist in your profile, it will say whether the work permit is required or not. Right? So if it's required, you upload it, but language assessment is required. So that is kind of mandatory. Let's go to the next page. Here we will look into some other documentations. Here you will upload your ECA, whatever ECA you got, say it from WES or any organization. You upload the ECA, you upload your original education documents, scanned copy of your original certificates for you and your partner. After this, you have uploaded your Alberta specific, if you have any trade certificate which is Alberta specific or any license which is Alberta specific, you upload that. Right? These two are required only in specific cases if your job requires this kind of certification. The next upcoming thing is very important, the Alberta Job Offer. This is very important, and in most of the cases it will be marked as applicable, and for tech pathway it is applicable. So you need a job offer where you are authorized to work in Alberta. So this is something what we have seen, there is no exception. You need a job offer from an employer who is willing to place you in Alberta for a work. So this, they will ask for a job offer. Go through this. This has some kind of a detail on what it should contain. So it's kind of a guideline. There is no specific format, but it's just of a guideline, like it should be on the company letterhead, it should show your job title, your base salary, any kind of bonus you get, any duration of employment. So the verbiage or the format can be different, but it should contain all of these bullet points in some way or form. Let's go on to the next page and see what else is required. So the next very important document is the employer reference letter. This reference letter is basically an experience letter. So your company, or from your previous companies or from your previous work experience, you just gather all the documents that clearly shows what job you did, what position you held, from which period to which period, and your detailed experience. So they really go by this document to look at your detailed experience on what you have done over the past, right? So this is not a letter from a manager or a letter from a colleague or something like that. Even though it says the reference letter, it's basically is a letter from your employer, current employer, for your current experience, work experience, job description, or from your previous company, showing your previous job experience. So that is what this reference letter is. Again, there is no specific format for this. I can try sharing some formats, the format that I used, but again, there is no specific formats. Mostly big companies, all the HR have a format, and they can tweak it a bit to include all the details. But in general, so if you look at these guidelines, it will tell you very clearly what it should have in these reference letters. Let's go to the next page. Have any relatives living in Alberta, you just have to provide documentation proving your relationship with them, and it could be various things. I've not done it personally, so I'm not very aware of this particular section, but yeah, this is an option, and this increases your chance of getting a nomination. After this, there is one document for Alberta employer information. This information is mostly you will get from your employer. So this is basically a small write-up about your company, just a history of a company, what it does, what kind of industry it is in, possibly the size of the company, possibly the revenue. So it's just an introduction of the company. So these most companies would have ready to be published. You would get it on the standard letters of the company. I used it on my company letterhead, so I just provided to them, and it did work. After this, there are two documents that you need to print and sign. There is one for dependent authorization. So basically, if you are applying with your wife, have your wife sign this document. You can just click this link, find the document, and have her sign and scan it and upload it. And the last is the representative form, which we have seen in various other forums. Is basically, if you are using a representative to fill this form, if you are not filling it yourself, then you have to complete this representative form. So this document is a very comprehensive guide of what all documentation you need. If you follow this is just only a 4-page document. This is not a very big document. Only this 4-page document. If you go through these documents, I'm very sure you will be able to complete your documentation. Yeah. From my experience, the most of the time it takes to prepare the documentation is the job offer and the reference letters. So these two are the most time consuming, so you should get started on it as soon as possible. And apart from that, other documents, I am very sure you already have it, because you already have an express entry, so you already have your ECA and your language assessments and everything are ready, so you don't need anything extra beyond that. And the advantage is that if you have these employer documentation ready, it will also help you in the next stage once you receive the ITA. So it's kind of helping you in the next stage also. So yeah, go through this document, and this gives you a very good idea. And let me know if you have any questions on this particular document, and I can try and help. This is how the final checklist looks in your profile. So your profile will give you very clear indications on which document is absolutely required. So it will say yes, and you just upload the document for whichever it's indicated as yes. And if you need more details, you can look into the PDF earlier. So yeah, don't worry much about PDF. PDF has a lot of things, but for your specific case, you might need lesser documents. If you have more documents, you can upload it, and if they need anything more, they usually come back on an email and ask you. So that is from my experience. That was done. Another important thing I wanted to cover is that whenever you are applying under this new tech gateway, so make sure you select this radio checkbox that you are applying under the new tech gateway. So this is very important for the tech gateway applicants only. So that's it from my side, and if you liked it, please share your feedback and share these videos with your friends so that it can help you. So all the best for your future, and see you in the next video. Thank you.